Welcome back to New Jersey Power and Politics. I'm Walt Kane, and this week for Eric Landscroner. Your next trip from South Jersey into Delaware is going to cost you a little more money. Toll hikes on the Betsy Ross, Benjamin Franklin, Walt Whitman, and Commodore Barry bridges all will take effect September 1st, tolls increasing by $1 to $6 a trip. From the roads to the rails, New Jersey Transit says it may permanently close a train station in Bergen County. The agency looking to shut down the Kingsland rail station in Lyndhurst. That station was built in 1918. The actual building has been closed to the public for over a decade. NJ Transit says riders should not face any major inconveniences because it will open a new station a mile away before the old station shuts down. Some commuters aren't so sure about that.
Yeah, it'll be much more inconvenient because there's no bus that stops at what will be a new station in Lyndhurst.
I guess they're trying to improve infrastructure regarding this town. They realize, maybe it's falling apart, so they see the other train stations say, hey, maybe, it's not as bad.
NJ Transit will be holding hearings where people can comment on the proposal. For more information about those hearings, you can go to news12.com. One New Jersey state lawmaker says it's time for a full-fledged audit into New Jersey Transit. Anthony Bucco is Senate Minority Leader here in New Jersey. Senator, thank you so much for being here.
It's great to be here, Walt.
Why do we need an audit into NJ Transit?
Well, look, we can't fix the problems of New Jersey Transit until we really know what they are. And we haven't had an audit since 2018, so it's time to get an update. Things have changed in our commuting public. After COVID, many people are working from home, so I really think we're long overdue to really get a deep dive, not only into their finances, but also into the operational methods that New Jersey Transit is operating under.
One of the things that NJ Transit has said in the past when it's come under scrutiny is, hey, don't look at us. It's Amtrak tracks a lot of the time. It's antiquated tunnels. Do you buy that explanation?
I don't know, and that's the problem, right? We keep looking at New Jersey Transit and throwing more money at it without really identifying the problems that have to be fixed. And that's why I think, some of my colleagues are asking for hearings. I think the very first step should be is to take a deep dive into the agency, figure out what the problems are, and then hear from them how they're going to correct it, and then hold leadership accountable for the results. That's the logical way to address this problem. Continuing to throw money at it just hasn't worked. It's like the definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. It's time to get it right. People are frustrated, and rightfully so.
Governor Murphy last week on Ask Governor Murphy right here said to Eric Landscroner, the administration is already working with a group to do an audit. He said, quote, we're all over it. Are you confident that this is one of those issues where both parties can come together and get it done?
Well, it's my understanding that the group that's going to do the audit is the same group that did the audit in 2018 and identified these similar problems, and we're still dealing with them today. So I don't know. The devil is in the details. I think we really should get some independent eyes in there to take a look at it. Nobody's connected with the administration or anybody else. Just get a real professional in there to take a look and make some hardcore recommendations as to how we move forward. Because if we don't, I think we're going to continue to see these problems going forward.
One of the big stories that we'll see in New Jersey as we go forward is the Senate race. Robert Menendez, in his last few weeks as senator, Governor Murphy has not yet named someone to replace him until the election in November. You have said in the past that you really feel like it needs to be someone who's independent, not Andy Kim, which it appears the governor is going to do. Why is that so important to you?
Well, I think it's important not only to me, but to the public, right? The public really doesn't want a backroom deal to put Andy Kim in this position early and kind of put his thumb on the election cycle. Both candidates for both parties are identified, and the public should have an opportunity to vote to say who they want to serve in this position, for the full term. And it shouldn't be that the governor gets to kind of, like I said before, put his thumb on the scale and give one candidate an advantage over the other. And this is not something new. When we had vacancies in the U.S. Senate seats back, Governor Kane, Governor Christie, both of them put in a placeholder for the short period of time to give the electorate an opportunity to have a fair election and place the winner in that seat for a full term.
I know one piece of legislation that you sponsored that you're very proud of is the legislation creating a home invasion statute, which in the past in New Jersey, a burglary was a burglary regardless of whether somebody barged in or simply snuck in when the house was empty. How important is that law to you?
Well, it's very important. You know, we're continuing to see these types of break-ins continue to rise, and the criminals are getting more and more brazen. They are now, you know, bringing in guns. You know, the police are saying that it's getting more and more difficult to catch them and to keep them behind bars. So we need to give not only the prosecutors but the judges the opportunities when this happens to hold somebody. Because if there's not a deterrent, you know, if there's not a consequence to the action, the people will continue to do these crimes, and especially the juveniles. You know, the juveniles need to have need to know that if they commit this crime, they're going to do the time. And you know, many of my colleagues are concerned about that, but you know, this is not about ruining somebody's life. What this is about is getting to these young adults before they turn to a life of crime. If we can get them into the system and rehabilitate them, it's about saving them, you know, not about ruining their lives.
All right, State Senator Anthony Bucco, Senate Minority Leader, thank you so much for being with us this week.
Thank you.
Some sad news in the New Jersey political scene this week. Ingrid Reed, longtime political analyst, former director of the Eagleton Institute at Rutgers, has died. A generation of New Jersey reporters, including me, depended on Ingrid for her insights to help make sense of New Jersey's often complicated policy debates. Ingrid Reed was 88.